Hey everybody, it's Christina Holloway here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about good strategies you can use if you've lost your dream job. So I did lose my dream job. I worked really hard to get transferred to a new department, one that was completely in alignment with what I really wanted to do for a career. I had moved out of training and development and started working on a large project with marketing. And I loved every minute of it. 6 months after I moved into that department and just before my transfer was to become official with a new title and new salary, I fell victim to the company's major layoffs. There's more to the story, so I'm going to walk you through what happened to me and how I managed to stay positive and pivot into something better. Real quick, if you enjoy this content and want to learn more about how to make power moves in your career, make sure to follow my channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video from me. All right, so let's get started. Losing a job can be a challenging and disheartening experience, but it's important to remember that setbacks often lead to new opportunities. Here are 5 steps you can take to navigate this situation and move forward. Number 1, allow yourself to process your feelings. Here's what happened. The company was going through major layoffs and everyone around me was watching the lists of names and the departments that were being dismantled. My old department was on the list. At the time, I was trying my best to leave that situation and finally get to where I really wanted to go, marketing. So in July 2001, I went to work like any other day and I worked there all day. I couldn't use the computer and figured the servers were down. At the end of the day, my friend called me and told me that the system showed I had been laid off the day before and that my ID and access had been disabled. Essentially, I was working at a company where I was no longer employed. So I went to HR and this nice man told me that they submitted the paperwork to have me moved and that they were assured it wouldn't be a problem. Yet here I was without a job. And they told me that they wouldn't be able to just rehire me, something about a lot of red tape. And it was crushing. I felt like I had almost made it and I was doing great work that I loved, and now all of it was gone. Everything I imagined for my future career, and especially what I was about to contribute for that company, was gone. It's important to note also that while I was looking for a new job a few years earlier, I had been interviewing with PR companies and marketing companies hoping to get hired there. It was something I had always wanted. Instead, I landed this great job with this large tech consulting company, and I worked really hard to build up my skills and experiences to move into their marketing department. It is all I wanted to do. And when I finally landed there, it was gone in 6 months. It's normal to feel a lot of emotions, including disappointment, frustration, or even anger, because I did. I was shocked. And I also felt that the universe was really working against me. Every message I received was close, but no cigar. Take some time to acknowledge and process your feelings. Avoid isolating yourself too much. You might want to retreat, but you also don't want to be so alone that damaging thoughts take hold. This is a temporary setback. Acknowledge it, feel it, and then regroup your thoughts. Number 2, assess the situation. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it was the rush of frustrated emotions and the thought that the company didn't act proactively, but instead of being sad, I was angry, and I started to set boundaries for myself when discussing what happened. I sat down with the HR rep and explained that it was really bad that I was let into the building without proper access and that I worked at the company for a full day before I figured out for myself that I had been let go. This HR person didn't even tell me because he didn't even know. It was crazy. So I just sat in his office and I said, look, you need to pay me for a day's work. Now, losing your job is also about your financial situation. Because I knew I wouldn't be working in the short term, I started asking about appropriate compensation. I knew how long I could go without a paycheck, and I negotiated a better severance package. They seemed willing to work with me because it was their mistake. Every little bit matters. If you have enough spark in you that day, do what you can to negotiate for yourself. You may not get anything, or you may get something. If you don't ask, you don't know. There's nothing wrong with making requests or trying to negotiate in that last conversation. Then consider developing a budget to manage your finances effectively during this transition period. Number 3, document your job experiences and skills. This is important because I had 6 months experience in this department, and because I had worked on special projects with a marketing focus before I moved over there, I could take a look at what I had done and document the experiences I did have during that time. It all mattered. Where before I was told I didn't have any experience, at this point I could point to some experience, which was better than nothing. Write it all down. Don't ignore any details. Take another look at your previous assignments and look for parallels to how they are relevant to your recent experiences. Take the opportunity to reflect on this job. Consider what parts of the work you absolutely loved and what areas you were working on improving. This will help you get better clarity on your goals, strengths, and areas for growth. This is also going to be a great place to start looking for new work in that same space. Take some time to also consider where you were lacking experience. Would some Google certificates or online training programs help position you better for future work? If it's a low-cost option that works well on your resume, consider working on it to position you more competitively in that industry. It's a great way to also demonstrate your commitment to your career development in that space. Number 4, rebuild your resume and start networking. Once you've taken a pass at repositioning your recent experiences in your dream job, and you've created a plan to position yourself strongly with some additional training and certifications, you can now take a look at your resume and LinkedIn profile. For LinkedIn, I've said this before, but this is a great place to tell your story. Your LinkedIn profile doesn't need to look exactly like your resume. You can fill your profile with plenty of extra information. Which parts of the job did you enjoy most? In which parts of your dream job did you have exceptional qualifications? Where do you hope to continue to grow and develop? In your resume, add the projects where you contributed the most and where you learned the most. Stay consistent with action verbs. Led multi-million-dollar project, collaborated with 12 new client accounts, recognized with high performance award for contribution at sales event. Add anything that shows you were knocking it out of the park when you had that dream job. Because of course you were. You loved it there. You're going to need to find a new job quickly, so the first place to network is with people you know who work in similar areas and can make a referral. The next place to look is industry organizations and industry events. You can go to job fairs too, but don't count on them as your primary source for work opportunities. The goal here is to get a referral, to get in front of an HR rep or hiring manager. Work all the industry events. You need to meet as many people as possible and talk about your passion for the work. Stay positive and don't give up. At this point, you have to be aggressive, especially because you've already assessed how long you can stay afloat before you run into financial problems. Looking for a new job is going to be your new full-time job. Number 5, consider alternative options. So for me, the HR rep suggested that I create a business entity so they could pay me the missing wages from that crazy last day at work. I went away for 3 weeks, created the business entity, reapplied as a vendor, and started working there as a marketing contractor. I set an hourly rate, positioned myself for specific marketing work, brand development was my thing, and my boss, who felt terrible about the whole thing, gave me some sustainable projects that would take me through the end of the year. All of that ensured I had a soft landing. Is that something I thought I would ever do? No, absolutely not. I was open to trying it for the short term to pay my bills until I figured out where else I could go. And that's the point. Stay open to absolutely everything that floats your way. It may not look like what you had ever imagined for yourself, but if it's something that's going to help you pay your bills and create a bridge to your next opportunity, consider how to make it work. For me, the following 6 months proved to be very busy, and I managed to get on bigger projects and position myself for more work. It was a less stressful setup, and I learned a lot about how to build and run a consulting business in the marketing space. I was also young and naive enough to think I could pull it off. And I did pull it off, surprisingly, in hindsight. Consider exploring alternative paths, such as freelancing, consulting, or starting your own business. Assess whether any of these options align with your interests and skills. They can give you valuable experience, extra income, and potentially open doors to unexpected opportunities and career paths. All right, so that's it for my video on how to stay positive once you've lost your dream job. If you have the same experience I did, feel free to share it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Don't forget to download my free communication toolkit, which I provided in the link below. And if you enjoyed watching this video and you found it helpful, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up by hitting that like button, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you never miss another video from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.